And we're live. Welcome to An Infinite Me. It's awesome to have you here. So we probably haven't met before. So I'm Nat.
I'm Mandy.
So Mandy is my sister, my younger sister by 7 years. And I guess we've been following this consciousness journey, this infinite path for the last 15 years or so, since about 2004, I think it was, man, when we first embarked on the journey with Dr. John Demartini all the way back then. And what a journey it's been since then. We've done tons of different speakers, books, seminar, like you name it, we've done it over the last 15 years. So I guess it's finally time to come back together again. We've worked together before on different projects, and I think the last one was called Beyond Belief Experiences, which is quite funny. So now we have gone beyond beliefs, and we're actually talking more about the infinite side of ourselves. So yeah, stepping into that now, and this is our first broadcast, and it's really exciting to be here.
Yes, I think Nat reached out to me perhaps about a month ago. She was just sort of feeling a call to sort of embark on a new project, and her partner had kind of put it to her about reaching out to me to see if I'd be interested, and I'd been thinking myself about doing something in this arena as well, because it's an absolute passion of mine as well, consciousness and awakening. And I had lots of creative ideas around this too, but when Nat reached out, it kind of just really resonated that it was time to come together on a project here. So that's kind of what we're doing now, throwing around lots of ideas about how can we share this with other people about this journey of stepping into the infiniteness of yourself, and what does that look like in living an everyday life, the embodiment of knowing that you're an infinite being. And that's what we're planning to share in all different ways.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I remember way back when in 2011, sitting on a plane from Australia and about to embark on a brand new journey and a new experience, which was moving to Dubai with my partner, Jody. And I remember sitting on the plane with her, and we just both looked at each other, because she'd also been on the consciousness journey for quite some time. And we went, you know what? It's time to start living this. We've like totally absorbed so much information over all these years. And now, if we truly believe the stuff that we have been learning, and it truly resonates with us, and it felt like truth, then it's time. I wouldn't say test it, because I really don't believe in the whole idea of testing things. But it felt like it was time to really step into it. And it was been a hell of a journey, and we'll talk about that over the time. Mandy's been on a hell of a journey as much as I have as well. It took us on a hell of a ride. It wasn't all good either, but we were living it, and that was the point, I guess. That always it was coming back to consciousness. You know, no matter how tough something got or how dark it became, it was like, okay, how conscious can we be in this moment, sort of thing, and pull ourselves back out of it. And we're going to talk a lot about these sorts of concepts in An Infinite Me, or The Infinite Me. And they are going to be really different concepts, I think, to some of the stuff that's already out there. We're going to really question about what is reality. Does it actually even exist? Does any of this exist that it's around us right now? We think we're sitting on couches and talking to a computer screen. Is that even there? So we're going to really dive in. And I think that's the whole idea of An Infinite Me, is to really take one small snippet of a concept and really dive into it and just see, let's bounce ideas off. This is not scripted. None of it's scripted. It really is just running with what feels true for us in the moment. Some of it you agree with, some of it might push your buttons. And then that's good too, because that's really about diving in and seeing, okay, why is it pushing my buttons right now? Like what's coming up for me, and what can I address? So, you know, Mandy might say something to me that pushes my buttons, sort of thing, and we have a bit of a backwards and forwards about things. I think that's the exploration side of The Infinite Me, and it's always an infinite journey in terms of discovering more and more of those sorts of things.
Yeah. I was going to say, the thing that we've been talking a bit about is this concept of living in two worlds, so having a foot in the 3D world and the, what some people might call 5D or what, it doesn't matter the terminology around it, but it's that kind of stepping into the infiniteness and knowing that self to be that, but you can't actually have a foot in both worlds. It doesn't actually work, or it works to a point and then it gets to a point where it just doesn't work anymore and you can't keep going that way. So you have to kind of, it is what Nat was saying, it is that whole living it, then you have to actually step fully into it. And okay, you might go backwards and forwards a bit and then you realize that doesn't actually work anymore. It makes it way harder. So you do have to jump both feet into the new way of being, and everything and anything will come up to challenge you on that, to see where you still have power in the different illusions that you've set up for yourself. And so that's what we're going to be exploring, is that whole journey and the ups and downs and the realizations and the reclaiming of your power, I guess, from what you've set up for yourself, your creation, and knowing yourself as that infiniteness and the expression, how you've come into this human body to express it in a unique point of view. But then you come from that infinite space. So it's knowing yourself as the two, like the unique point of view in this world and a human expression, and then knowing yourself as the infinite expression as well, and what that all means. So that's what we sort of hope to explore, all different concepts and things around that. And hopefully, we'll get some feedback from you guys as well, and we'll explore different concepts as well that people might want to know about as well. So we're to kind of, we want it to be really kind of conversation with people too. To see on this journey together.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think seeing different people's points of view and different thought processes and stuff on things is really important. I like what you said about the feet in both worlds, and I think that really sums up what the infinite me is going to be exploring, is that edge between the two, of you keep going backwards and forwards between the two worlds. And in one sense of truth, we are our human being selves, and in another sense we're very much still our infinite selves. And we'll talk more about some of the teachers that we've learnt under as well, and discovered different truths for ourselves through those people. But one of them I like is Jen, where she starts to talk about, a lot of people talk about the ascending process sort of thing. So we're here as human beings and we're rising back to where we've come from and stuff. And it's funny because that's never really gelled for me at all, that concept. Like I sort of got it in theory, but it never felt right. And the minute that Jen explained, no, you're actually descending. So you're still your infinite self, and now you're coming down onto planet Earth, and you're trying to figure out how the hell to work all this. Like suddenly you're all limited. You've got time and space and duality and positive and negatives and goods and bads and all those sorts of things. The ego is then birthed as a result of that, and it's sort of like, oh my God, like what am I even doing here? And I think that's a really normal feeling for people that are playing this game, this infinite game, is like, what am I even doing here? Like, how did I get here? Like, am I even meant to be here? To me, they're just, signs and symptoms even of that trying to navigate this human existence type thing as an infinite being, and suddenly not having all your unlimited powers that you so naturally have. And how do you do that? How do you navigate that?
Yes.
So I personally would really like to explore that aspect of how limitation is created, how duality is created. What does that mean to us? Where does that mean we put our power outside of ourselves into reality, thinking that money has power and people have power and business and all these different things? And it's like, they can't possibly, it's like even in physics, it's not possible for those things to have any power.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about those sorts of things, like that science side of it as well, which is so interesting.
Yeah, like the science of like people like Bruce Lipton looking at the epigenetics and
Yeah.
how, you know, it's been proven now that you can actually change your genes. So we're not even governed now by what we thought, you know, we were sort of destined to have certain illnesses or things like that in the family, you know, lineage and things like that. That's not even true anymore. So it's kind of, it does just show how unlimited we actually are. And that, you know, we create our reality by those limitations that we sort of buy into as well. So I was going to say, in terms of the other people that we've studied with and learned from over the years, different mentors. So another one is Robert Scheinfeld or Bob Scheinfeld, and you know, his whole concept is around that the whole thing is a game. So almost like the Truman Show movie, if anyone's seen that, the Jim Carrey movie, where his whole life is basically a movie set, which he doesn't realize at the time, and so he just goes about thinking it's real life, but it's actually being filmed live, you know, streamed across the world, and people are watching him, and he's on the actual movie set, and it's almost like that concept of exploring life from that angle. And when you start to look at things from that angle, it gets very interesting about how what is actually real and what, you know, how far can you go, like what are these limitations and how far can you push the boundaries of things as well. So there's lots of stuff that we can jump into for sure. So
definitely. All right, so we've hit our 11 minutes now. We're going to keep them short and sweet each day. We're going to dive in deep, but we're going to keep them pretty quick. That's why we're calling it the infinite minute. It is slightly longer than 1 minute, but it's infinite, so it means it can be whatever it likes to be. And we're going to try and do these as regularly as on time as possible. Now, the fact is, Mandy is in Hobart in Tasmania, where she house sits around Hobart.
Australia,
and
know where Tasmania is.
That little dot down the bottom of Australia that some people leave off on the maps. So she's on the little island down there, and where it's winter and it's cold. And right now I'm in Vietnam. So Jodie and I travel full time, also as house sitters, but we're international house sitters, so we will move around. So we will try and keep them as regular as possible at a certain time, so that you can tune in at certain times each day. That will have to change at times because I'll be moving and it will be literally impossible to meet all time zones. So we'll do chunks of time though. Mandy and I have just agreed to do that. So we'll do however long I'm in one time zone or close to one time zone. We'll do a chunk of time at that set time each day, and then I'll change time zones, and we'll have to change it up a bit. But we'll do what we can.
The aim for now is sort of 8 p.m. Eastern time, US, 5 p.m. LA time. Which ends up being 10 a.m. Australian time. Which ends up, I'm just trying to do some calculations on the spot. It's
7 o'clock for me in Asia.
Very early in the morning for UK time, but at least if these are posted live, you'll be able to catch the replays anyway. So
definitely. Yep. Groovy. All right, so that's a wrap for our first one. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll dive into a really cool topic and start exploring. So thank you very much for being here, and enjoy the journey. It's going to be a hell of a journey. I think it's actually, I'm so excited about this, to actually finally get in and have some of these conversations, because we've had lots of these conversations, Mandy and I, and it's finally nice to actually record them and put them out there. Amen.
And we don't know where this is going to go either, so that's the
no idea,
the adventure of this all as well. So
absolutely. Cool. All right, we'll see you all tomorrow.
Okay. Bye.
Bye for now.